Hello, hello. Welcome to MTG Unraveled, where we each choose a magic card and over-explain it to distract you from your current hyperfixation. I'm Rafa.
And I'm Ryan. As usual, we have each picked a card that you may or may not know about and pick some interesting things to talk about. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, I'll start describing the card and we'll see if you can guess what it is before I reveal it.
Let's
My
go.
card is 7 mana, 5 green and a green, and it is a creature.
Oh, Lord. 5 green and a green.
Yeah, take a second. There's a ton of big green creatures.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, trying to figure out one that's exactly 5 green green if you like off the top would be tough for me too, even though there's like
Yeah, I've also
100.
realized I really don't know that much about like the mana cost of things. I just cast it when it's in my hand. Like Crater Hoof, is that 7
That's
mana?
5 green green green. I'm pretty
I was
sure.
close.
Yeah,
Close.
that is pretty
Okay.
good. It's a worm, and its power and toughness is 9/5. Do you know any worms?
I know. I think I have a worm in my popper deck. It's like it's primordial worm.
That's not this one. It's got trample, and I'll give you the text box too, and we'll see if you know the name of this card.
Okay.
While you're searching your library, you may cast this card from your library. No,
Never heard of this card in my life.
that's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
The name of the card is called Panglacial Worm.
Okay. Oh, I was guy P. It started with a P.
Yeah. I chose it because of the novelty of the card. The fact that you can cast it while you're searching from your library is not on any other card in Magic.
Yeah. No, that's a very unique ability.
It's very strange. So when you go to search your library, if this is in your deck, you can put this spell on the stack and you can pay mana. So tap mana in the middle of searching your library, which is the only way you can do that as well.
So it's almost like a different version of Flash. I don't.
Honestly, so it was printed a long time ago, but honestly, it reminds me of an uncard. Like
Yeah.
it feels un.
Yeah, because it's not something you commonly see.
No, and it's not
In
something you
a
really
game.
should be doing in a regular game of Magic. Like it's
Yeah.
breaking rules. You have to also keep track of the order of your library if this is in your deck, because if you go to put this on the stack while you're searching and you say tap a Millikin, which mills a card, if it's milled in order to pay for it, you can't. Because it's in your graveyard, not in your. Yeah. I. Yep.
So, like, if it happens to be the very first card in your
Yes.
library.
Yeah. If you go to search your library, let's say you crack a Fabled Passage, just random card, you go to search and it's the top card, but you have a Millikin that you'd have to use to pay for it, you're going to mill it. You can't cast it, which is just weird.
That is weird.
Yeah. You also have to be searching your own library. So if you have an an opposition agent, and you go to search somebody else's library, if they have a Panglacial Worm, you can't cast it. But these are all things like this is all weird, wonky stuff. They're all written in the rules text for Panglacial Worm because there's no other card that,
Yeah.
like, it's not on opposition agents rules text because this is the only card that you'll come across.
Right. It's a different mechanic that you will come across really weird questions for.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
I'm glad they have stuff like that in the rules text for it.
There's one more rules text just in case you ever see this card or if you want to play this card. You cannot cast it if you're resolving a soothsaying ability, which is looking at the top X cards of your library, however many, which comes from a card called Soothsaying.
Never heard that
Yeah.
term either.
But if you're looking through the top 10 cards of your library and this one is one of them, you can't you have to be searching, not looking at the top whatever.
Okay.
So it was first released in Cold Snap 2006, which is, like I said, I think that's before unsets, but I don't know. I don't know when the first unset was printed, but I think it was one of those weird ones. Its only reprint ever has been in Mystery Booster. In the art, there's only one art, and it looks like a typical Worm and Magic. It's like kind of Tremors-esque is what it reminds me
Yeah.
of, the movies. If you've
Yeah.
ever seen it. Yeah. Yeah. That's what the art looks like. And there's flavor text that says, "Step lightly and we might be able to use it as a bridge," by a goblin tactician that I'm not going to try to pronounce. It's like Ib Halfheart. Ib, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not walking across a giant worm. I don't care.
No, that's goblin coded. It's goblin coded.
Very.
Yeah. So where can you play this card? It's legal in Modern, Legacy, Vintage, and Commander. I don't know if it sees any play in any of those other formats. I doubt it. I'm not. We're mostly Commander players. We've said that, but I mean, I doubt you're paying 7 mana while searching your library. I mean, maybe there's a deck that runs like 1 if you like make a ton of mana, and I'm assuming you tutor a lot, but like, I doubt it. I really doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't seem good enough. I was trying to think of where you'd see this card in Commander, because it's like, if you're gonna see it, it'd probably be in Commander. And my thought was like, they printed that Teamer Commander in Tarkir Dragonstorm that cares about like power and toughness, and it's certainly not your only cares about power and toughness commander. I don't remember the commander's name. It'll be up on the screen.
Isn't it Teshev or something?
Well, I don't know. Sure.
I have no idea.
I don't know. But like, if you have this in your deck and all you have is like a land tutor and you care about casting big creatures, so obviously you make a lot of mana in that deck, like this would just be a way to like consistently cast more big creatures. And I think it draws you cards, the new Teamer one. I don't remember the name.
If you had a deck that cared about casting things from anywhere other than your hand, that could be a place for it as well.
Absolutely.
I can't think of a commander off the top of my head that would care about that and can play this card, but
no, yeah, you're right though.
Yeah, you would think of like from exile, the command zone, from your graveyard, but there's a weird random one that you could throw in there because it works.
Yeah, that's the only place I think you'd see it really is Commander, and it'd be like Power Matters is the best thing I can think of why you would, or just to be funny.
Yeah.
Like, lower bracket. This is a 9/5 trample in a lower bracket game isn't nothing. I mean, it's a beater. So you're paying 9 or 7 mana for it though. It is in over 7,000 commander decks on EDH Rec, so there are people out there playing it. Over half are in Baru Worm Speaker decks, which is the mono green cares about worms commander. Yeah, which makes sense. Like, so 3,500 Baru decks have a Panglacial Worm in them. Like that makes sense. It goes there too.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's that many worms out there. So it would make sense. I didn't know that there was a worm typal deck.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. So the card itself, if you want to pick up just a base version of it, only a couple bucks. If you want the OG foil art, it's going to be a crisp $20 bill or more. So it's one of those older cards. The foil, there's only a little bit of lore, and really it's about just Cold Snap in general. The word Panglacial is a term to describe the earth completely covered in ice. That's what that word means. And Cold Snap is the melting of Terracer, I'm assuming plane, or it's a world in a plane. I don't know Magic lore well enough. But I would guess worms would be emerging during this thaw based on the picture. So like the idea of Panglacial Worm is the earth is thawing and these worms are popping out. It's a Panglacial Worm. Yeah.
Gotcha. They've had lots of time to grow underground. Yeah. They're coming for you.
Yep. And there's been a few famously like one-off type cards like Panglacial Worm, how it's the only card of its kind that you'll find like this. And back in 2022, Mark Rosewater was asked enough about Dryad Arbor type cards, which is another famously one-off, maybe shouldn't have ever been a thing card. Enough about Dryad Arbor type cards. When are we getting more cards like Panglacial Worm? And he answered with, I think Panglacial Worm is even more problematic than Dryad Arbor. And I agree. Like, think about all the little case rules. I bet you could come up with 10 other situations where you're like, well, what about this? What happens in this situation? Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Rosewater doesn't seem to like when you mess around with having to figure out too many rules, because I know that he also really doesn't like mutate.
Oh yeah, I don't either.
It's not that bad.
Ugh.
It's not that bad.
It's
There
a
are
headache.
some weird things that you're like, I have no idea how this works, but it's not that bad. I have a deck. It's fine.
I think the concept of mutate is really cool. Like it's really neat. But then when you go to do it, if anything out of the ordinary happens, you're just like, what do we do here? I don't even know.
Well, that's why we all have the internet in our pocket.
Yeah, but
Reddit, help.
yeah, Reddit. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't trust Google AI to tell me how a Magic game should be played out. I just don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe one day we'll have an AI rules bot or something, but I don't trust when you
Probably.
Google it. I don't trust it.
you don't trust AI in general.
Yeah, yeah, but we're AI. What do you have for your card?
Okay, so my card is 4 colorless mana, artifact creature.
My favorite, Solemn Simulacrum.
No.
Oh,
Good guess though. It's a golem.
isn't Solemn Simulacrum a golem? 4 cost,
Is he?
artifact creature, golem. Give me a second. I want to see if I can get this. I feel like I probably know this card. I've got nothing. Yeah.
I 100% didn't write down the power and toughness. I want to say it's a 4/4.
4/4 for 4. Golem.
Or maybe it's a 2/2.
2/2 for 4. You're just describing Solemn Simulacrum still. I don't believe you.
Okay. It was released in Lost Caverns of Ixalan.
Roaming Throne?
Yeah.
That's a golem?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Zelda
Uh,
bad guys.
Huh?
It's a Zelda bad guy.
Oh,
That's what it looks like.
It does-
I'm
it
getting
does.
ahead. I'm getting ahead. so-
100% look like it should be in a Zelda game.
Yeah.
Do you play this card at all?
I have played this card. We pulled a couple.
Mm-hmm.
We got lucky. We got a couple of them. I want to say I don't remember what deck I put it in. It might have been Dragon.
That would
I
make
put it in,
sense.
which I don't have Dragon anymore, but I think I put it in there. It is super powerful. I also it is super powerful. It's 4 mana. It's got Ward 2 if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not a huge fan of it because I feel like it's kind of lazy deck building, and I'm gonna get some heat for that. If you're in a typo that's not super supported, unlike dragons or elves or whatever, if you're in a worm typo deck, Pangolin or Roaming Throne makes a lot of sense because you don't have that many good options. You don't have a Delny for that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I have a couple of typal decks too. We have Lathril sitting right here.
Yeah.
It's a deck box, isn't it cute? And then I also have Bria, which is mostly otters. And I don't run Roaming Throne in either of those. Me, it's mostly because if it is not literally, I know that this turns into that creature type, but if it's not literally that creature type, I'm more opposed to using it because I stick to typo pretty securely, unless it is something that I can't find the ability or it just makes the deck better. Like I think I have a Mirkwood Bats in Lathril, and that's because I'm constantly making tokens, and you don't have elves that ping you for token making, and that's an alternate way for me to kind of get towards a win in that deck.
Yeah, I think of Vivi and Bria too that you added recently because
Yeah, exactly. Otters is not super supported. There's not a whole lot of otters out there. One of them's banned.
They're
Free
printing a new-
Lutri.
They're printing a new one in Avatar.
It can't go in Bria though. It's a white. And it's a storm deck, so VV is just really good because I need ways to consistently make more mana to keep going before combat. It's a weird deck. So that is one that I had to kind of throw in a couple of non-otters just to make the deck work. But I still didn't put Roaming Throne in there. I don't have I just don't choose to run it if I can help it. but it is a super duper powerful card. So like you said, it has Ward 2, and as this creature enters, you choose a creature type. Why we're talking about typal. This creature is the chosen type in addition to its other types. And if a triggered ability of another creature you control of the chosen type triggers, it triggers an additional time. So this card goes in typal decks. But it's good in more than just typal decks too. That's why it's just kind of a generically good card. If you have a commander that has a triggered ability, it's pretty good to have in there because you know that you will constantly have access to a card that will benefit from Roaming Throne being on the battlefield. So things like that would be a Tali, which usually is typically typal too. Joda, it could go in a Joda deck. I have one of those. It's not in there. But it would double Joda's Cascade, Jodacade as we call it, ability. It could go in Atraxa. It would double the proliferate triggers. Anytime you have a commander that has a triggered ability, Roaming Throne just makes it better.
Yeah, and I think of like my Sam deck because I have a whole bunch of halflings in there too already, so it would double the food. Green white Samwise Gamgee. It would double the foods when anything enters because Sam makes the food. But then any halflings I have, like Peregrine Took or anything, they'd all get doubled too. So yeah, it's just good. It's good enough to run just if your commander needs it, but any extra that it does just because you name a creature type is just like gravy. And in typal decks, it shines.
Yeah, and even if you have a typal deck that doesn't have a commander with a triggered ability, go through and look at how many of your creatures have triggered abilities, because I guarantee there's at least a couple. So it could even be good in those circumstances. But if your deck does both, that's the absolute perfect pot for it to go into. Like, it would be really good in Lathril, because not only does the commander have a triggered ability to create elves when she deals combat damage, but it's also typal. And there's quite a few elves in there that have triggered abilities on top of hers. This card is legal in Standard, Pioneer, Modern, Legacy, Vintage, Commander, Oathbreaker, Historic, Brawl, Timeless, and Penny.
It's still legal in Standard?
Mm-hmm.
Ixalan wasn't... It's not out of rotation yet, huh? That's crazy.
I know that they just pushed some things out of rotation, but Ixalan was 2023.
Yeah, no, you're right, because it goes back 3 years, so yeah.
So it might have just got pushed out, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, if it goes back 3 years, then it's good. It
Okay.
won't get pushed out until next year. That just seems like... I don't know why last week's Bird... Ledger Shredder didn't feel that old to me, but Roaming Throne, I'm like, that should already be out of... I feel like I should see it in Standard, which I only play on Arena, but I feel like I should see it if it's still legal. That's why, probably. Yeah. Anyway.
You have more experience with Standard than I do. I have absolutely no idea what the meta looks like.
Yeah.
So who knows? I'm sure there are some decks out there. It's definitely really big in Commander, though.
Yeah.
We see it.
Yeah.
We used to regularly play against a Sliver deck that it was in there. For obvious reasons. That was a bad time in our lives. We are Sliver haters.
Yep. We said what we said.
Yeah. So it's you can find it for around $40 for a near mint non-foil. It goes up to like $45.50 for the foil. There are two different arts. It's only been printed in Ixalan, so we haven't seen any reprints yet. But there were two different arts. There's the one that looks like it should be from a Zelda game, where it looks more like a construct than a golem to me.
Yeah.
And it's just on a grassy field roaming. And then you have the other one, which is like...
Yeah, it's like a piece of artwork. I don't know how else. Yeah, it's like a profile picture. Almost, but it's not. It's not the profile.
Which, from what I understand, didn't get received very well. Most people don't prefer that art. So I've actually seen the alternate art be a little bit cheaper than just the base art in general.
Yeah, that's odd.
I haven't looked specifically at that since the set came out, because we pulled, like you said, a couple of them, and we pulled both arts. And I remember looking and seeing that the non-foil one was a couple bucks less than the regular art, and I was like, oh, what?
Yeah, which I
That's so
just in
weird.
general like those cards better. Usually, not always, but yeah.
Not always.
No, but usually. Yeah, it'll get reprinted when we get a Zelda Universes Beyond. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of different rules texts. The first one talks about how the last ability of Roaming Throne does not copy the triggered ability. It gives you the triggered ability an additional time. So say you have a triggered ability that targets something. I have an Elf Enter, destroy target artifact or enchantment. It gives you that ability an additional time, so you don't have to target the same thing. You can choose a different target for the second ability because it's not a copy. You make those choices separately.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the second rules text goes into if you have 2 Roaming Thrones with the same chosen creature type. Because if you have 2 and you choose different creature types, then that's a different story. But with the same chosen creature type, the triggered ability would trigger 3 times because you have the original. Then you have the 1 Roaming Throne creating a second trigger, and then the third one creating a third trigger. So it's not exponential, it just adds 1 to it for each Roaming Throne. You have 3, it does it 4 times.
That makes sense though, because it's not the Roaming Throne making an extra ability isn't a triggered ability, right? It's a
Right.
replacement effect.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why it's not exponential, unlike your card last week.
Yes.
Well, no, that was a replacement. Never mind. That was a replacement effect too. It just happened to replace the replacement effect, this one does not.
Yeah. We talked about having 2 different replacement effects and how that works and
Yeah.
all of that. If you want to know more about it and you weren't able to listen to last week's podcast, go back and check it out.
Yeah.
We talk about Academy Manufactor and all the nonsense of replacement
And it does
abilities
go
versus
exponential.
triggered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it does. And then this week, I'm back to my fun fact being about a combo, because Roaming Throne is an essential part of one CEDH deck, Magda. So the card itself is in 457,000 decks on EDH Rec. Yeah, really good card, really popular. Not to mention, again, it's really good with Typal, which is a very popular archetype to build decks around because there's so many cool ones. Like, who doesn't want to play with elves or dragons or otters? Build otters. So the combo with Magda is you obviously have to have Magda Brazen Outlaw, the one that cares about dwarves. She says dwarves get +1/+0 whenever a dwarf you control becomes tapped to create a treasure token. And you can sack 5 treasure tokens to search for an artifact or dragon and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. You also need Clock of Omens. Tap 2 untapped artifacts you control, untap target artifact, and then Roaming Throne. So the conditions that you need to meet for the combo to begin are you have to have all 3 cards on the battlefield with dwarves named as your creature type for Roaming Throne.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So you activate Clock of Omens by tapping Roaming Throne and another artifact. Notably, you can tap your clock because its ability does not require it to tap. So if you have no other artifact, you can just tap the Clock of Omens with Roaming Throne. And you're going to target Roaming Throne for the untap. Because of Roaming Throne being a dwarf and naming dwarves to have abilities trigger twice, Magda will trigger twice when it becomes tapped and create 2 treasure tokens. Then you'll resolve your Clock of Omens trigger and untap Roaming Throne. You now have 2 treasures plus Roaming Throne. So now you can repeat the cycle, tapping Roaming Throne and one of your treasures, targeting Roaming Throne to untap, make 2 more. Yep. Each time you're coming out with...
You're netting 1.
You're netting 2 treasures, 1 tapped.
1 untapped.
1 untapped at the end of it. Yeah. So why on earth would you do this? Because you get infinite colored mana with you can use the untapped treasure tokens.
Infinite Magnituders with the tapped treasures you could just throw away.
Yep. Infinite, get every artifact and every dragon card from your deck out onto the battlefield, and if you're doing that,
Oh yeah, you've won.
you've won the game. We play against Magna on occasion, and it's absolutely nutty. So, it's pretty cool, and the combo is in 7,014 decks on EDH Rec. I don't know how many of those are CEDH decks. So they could be in casual decks. If you're playing that, don't play it below like a bracket 4. If you're playing Magda with that kind of combo,
Yeah, combos they're not even in bracket 2, right?
no.
Right. So yeah, you can't do that
You
unless it's
could in
bracket 3.
3, but again,
Yeah.
if you're playing one of the better CEDH commanders with a combo like that, then you're optimizing your deck, especially if you have ways to go and find it in Tutor. But I won't lecture you guys on
Yeah, I was just
where
thinking,
you put your decks in, but I'm just saying.
I was just thinking there might be someone out there with a bracket 3 Magda, but that would be pretty weird to me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I got for Roaming Throne. So at the end of every episode, we like to talk about something outside of the Magic world that we are hyper fixating on, and I'm gonna pass it off to you
Yeah.
today. What do you got?
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of Borderlands 4. The game is absolutely amazing. I've been a Borderlands player since Borderlands 1 and have liked all of them to some degree. My least favorite was the prequel, but number one has a nostalgia feel that if you didn't start with one, it just doesn't quite feel the same. The remastered one is good. It's good, but it's just not quite the same as back in whatever it was. I don't even know, 2009, 2010, 2007. I don't remember when it was. Late 2000s.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. The game was unlike anything I had played before to some degree. I mean, it's a first person shooter, so like I've played first person shooters before Borderlands, but the way that it plays was just something else, and that nostalgia still gets me. And 2 was absolutely amazing. The mechanics were improved. I'll admit that. It was better gameplay, but 1 just was my favorite. And then the prequel and Borderlands 3 were okay. 3 had really good points and really bad points. And overall, the gameplay was really fun, but the story was just garbage to me. I just did not care for most of the story. The antagonists were just so annoying.
They were annoying.
Yeah.
I'm a little less critical of some of that stuff than you are. So I also am completely obsessed with Borderlands. It's been one of my favorite franchises for quite a long time. I started with playing number 2. That was the first of the games. And unlike you, I gamed when I was younger a little bit, but I was not a gamer yet, I would say. I didn't really start getting into playing video games until Skyrim in like 2011. So Borderlands was one of my first first person shooter games, the shooter looter style. Absolutely adore 2, probably because it was the first one I played. That's always been my favorite. I regularly played the Sirens as my first characters for every playthrough, and that's because they are badass and OP, and their characters are amazing. But I do really, really love 1. Once I went back and played 1, it's replayable. I will go back and replay it as many times. I don't feel like it's hard to get into or hard because it's older or anything like that. Like some other franchises where I've started later in the series, I just can't. It's really, really hard to go back and play like Mass Effect 1.
Yeah. Oh,
That's rough.
yeah. And I think of like Halo 1 is good, but it's nothing compared to 2 and up. Like I bet it's the same thing actually. People who started on Halo 1 probably have a huge nostalgia for it, and they're probably like, "What are you talking about, Halo 1?" But I didn't start playing Halo until Halo 2, and it's not Halo 1's not as good if you started with 2.
I didn't start really playing Halo until Reach. So
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I've loved the entire series. all of the offshoots. I did the Tales from the Borderlands, which is not the same gameplay at all.
No, it's like you click through a story basically, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what that's called, but yeah, not my kind of game.
But the story itself, really, really good. 3, I just don't think it was that bad. Like, I would go back and play it. Was it the best out of them? No.
No.
But it was still really good. And I liked the story because, especially if you're going to get into 4, which we won't talk
Yeah, I
too
don't
much
want
about
to
the
spoil
story. We're not going to
4.
spoil 4 for
3,
you.
I feel like we don't even need to give a. It's been forever.
No, if
We
you
don't.
haven't
Yeah.
played those, then you already don't know what we're talking about. Too bad.
Or pause this, go beat all the games and then come back.
Yeah, and then come
Yep.
back. But you have to play that one before you play 4. You'll have no idea what's going on. Which I don't feel was necessarily the case with the other ones.
No, honestly, we're talking a lot about story, but Borderlands 4 is fun even if you don't care for stories
Oh,
in
yeah.
games. Like just the gameplay alone is really fun. Like if you just skip all the scenes and you're just like, I just want to loot and shoot, it's really fun. You don't have to care about the story. We do, but yeah.
Yeah. So we were both a little nervous about how it was going to turn out because the last 2 before that just never met our expectations quite as much. From 2 to go into the pre-sequel and 3.
And Tiny Tina's was good, but it wasn't that Borderlands feel either. We haven't even mentioned
No,
that. It was good. It was fine.
I love Tina.
Yeah. Character wise, like that's the whole reason I even wanted to play it was because of Tiny Tina. But it wasn't. If you want to play Borderlands, don't get Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. It's good in its own way.
It's just different because they tried to take Borderlands, put it into a D&D universe while also dealing with some pretty heavy like story material because the whole concept is Tina trying to using her imagination to process Roland's death and how to go on through that. I really liked it. I thought it was great. It had Tina, it had Butt Stallion, it had random shit. You got to roll dice, you got to do D&D things. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, we're Baldur's Gate fans here too, and well, we've only really played 3, right? You've only played 3
Yeah.
too. Yeah, I played some on the PS2, but basically we're Baldur's Gate 3 fans. Imagine if Baldur's Gate 3 and Borderlands had a baby. That's Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Yeah, except significantly dulled down because you don't have half the mechanics that Baldur's Gate has.
Yeah, no, I'm
Just the
saying
fact
like,
that it's D&D related.
imagine if Borderlands tried to make a Baldur's Gate. There you go.
There
Is
you
that-
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But 4 is really, really fun.
Yes.
It really does go back to that original feeling that you have with the series. And the mechanics are great. The characters are great. I think the story is fantastic. It sucked us in. We don't often have a lot of time to just sit down and play a video game nonstop like we used to. We're too old now. But this one sucked us in, and we were playing every single night and going through until we beat the game.
I described it as because 1 is my favorite. It's like they tried to remake 1 with today's video game environment. Like if Borderlands was never a thing and the first concept for a Borderlands was this time with Borderlands 4, if none of the previous ones existed, this is what Borderlands 1 would have been if it came out today, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you haven't had a chance, we definitely recommend go back and play the older ones if you haven't. Start wherever you want, but you can start with 1 and it'll be great. It still is very playable today.
Yeah, I know the Handsome Jack collection is always like super cheap or like wait for it to go on sale. If you've never played a Borderlands, just get the Handsome Jack collection and try it out.
Yeah, it's one of those games that typically goes on sale on Steam and on PlayStation Store and
Yeah, every now and then.
Game Pass, especially around Black Friday time,
Yep.
around now.
Yeah.
So check it out and let us know what you think of it because it's one of our favorites.
I've still got one more thing to say about Borderlands because this is going to people are going to be like, why do you even like Borderlands then? Because I don't like most vehicle parts in games, and Borderlands is no exception. I don't care for vehicle parts in most games. And Borderlands vehicles, I'm sure they're just fine. I actually don't know because anytime I have to get in a vehicle, I'm just like, get me out of this thing already. I just want to shoot and run around and collect loot. Like when I played one, like she was saying, how we used to have more time and play video games when we were younger, I would not get in a vehicle. And I beat one without really being in vehicles. Like there might have been a time or two or something that you have to, but I don't like vehicles, and yet I love Borderlands. So
I don't like vehicles either. I suck at driving. It does not matter what the game is. I suck at it. Go check out our TikTok. If you scroll down a little bit, there is a video of me attempting to drive in Call of Duty. It is horrific. Uh, the most I ever did with a vehicle in one is you have the achievement where you have to shoot like
a million bullets.
a
I'm pretty
million
sure it's a
bullets or
million.
something.
Yes.
And I 100% pulled down the trigger, put a hair tie around it, walked away.
Yep.
That's how you get that achievement.
Oh yeah.
Cheat. You're not doing it as you're going and shooting things. Don't try to kill enemies with the dumb cars. Unless you have to do the achievement where you have to squish. And then you just go and you squish all the little skags.
Yeah. Freaking skags. So where are you on the internet?
So you can find us on TikTok at Dicentric Games. We are working on setting up a Twitch at Dicentric Games. And we'll definitely let you know once those things are up and running.
Yep. If I'm ever doing anything like on the Discord, you'll find me as Socratic Irony 2.
All right. Well, we hope you learned something new about the cards that we talked about today. Let us know if there's anything interesting about the cards that we didn't go over or just anything you want to let us know in general.
Yeah, and if you would like to share any of the quirks that Magic has hidden in their cards, join the Discord in the description. If you have a question or suggestion for the show, please leave a comment or send us an email. We'd appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your week.
Click all the buttons.
Do all the things.